Hey guys, what is up? And thank you so much for being here for my How to Get Away with Murder chat. I'm really excited to talk about this week's episode because I felt like toward the end there were some pretty big shockers, or at least two really big shockers that I wasn't expecting. So I think you guys were probably shocked as well. And I think that they said that there's there's 3 episodes left this season. I think they said 2 episodes before the finale, so that would mean 3. Unless I heard that wrong and there's just 2. But I was also, even though that wasn't part of the show, but after, I was like kind of shocked to hear that because I'm like, wow, this season, which is season 5, is almost over, which is really hard to believe. So I'm going to give you guys some time to get in the room. And once you're here, let me know you're here so I can give you a shout out. I just feel like there's so much that we need to discuss about this show today. And I'm really excited about it. I thought it was a really good episode, and it's kind of going along with, I think this entire season has been really good, and it's been, like I've talked about before, better than a lot of the seasons. Well, like maybe the past couple of seasons. Hi, E. Thank you so much for being here. I see some people are in the room now, so let's go ahead and start talking. First of all, I'm kind of wondering, are we gearing up for a series finale? And why I say that is because, hi, Amina. Hi, Ingrid. Thank you so much for being here. The FBI woman they don't understand that she has this timeline or she's working basically everything they've ever done since the show started. And they think that she's focused on what happened with Nate Sr., what's going on with Gabriel, and the crazy thing is they think they have one-upped this FBI woman when in fact she's investigating stuff back to Lila, which is insane. Hi, Dan. Thank you so much for being here. So to see that revelation, I think, was huge. And as much as I love this show, I think it's kind of exciting that they're hinting toward a bigger picture here, connecting all of the crimes from the entire show. So I'm wondering if we are gearing up to wind down this show by having that scene in this episode. Let me know what you guys think. Hi, Ralph. Thank you so much for being here. Also, the other big revelation was that they had searched and searched and searched all the wedding pictures looking for any kind of something that would tie together Miller and Nate, and they were really happy because they're like, there's nothing here. And then Asher on his Instagram was tagged in a photo by Connor's mom, and conveniently there looked like to be an argument between Nate and Miller in the background. So I know they were going to call her immediately. I guess Connor was going to call her and say, take that photo down. Maybe that's going to happen because he might just say I feel weird about it because that's my friend. And it may happen right away, but I don't know if the FBI person is monitoring the Instagrams of these students, if someone's going to catch that before it's deleted or what, which definitely could happen. Honestly, it's kind of old that they always get away with all of the crimes. So I think it's time that maybe they don't get away with something. What are your guys' thoughts about this episode? What are your thoughts about the FBI woman investigating things that happened since the show's start? And I also wanted to mention the scenes with Miller's mom, I feel like were very heartbreaking, whether or not he is, ends up being a bad person or not. There was some evidence released in this episode that made him look pretty sketchy. Still not sure. I still don't think that he was the reason behind Nate's father's death, but I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe we go that way. But I just felt like, especially when his mom said that his dad had recently died, and she's like, I know that God's not going to take my son away from me so quickly after my husband died. She seemed like a very sweet woman. I'm sure regardless of his wrongdoings, she is a nice person, and she really believed Bonnie when Bonnie was literally the one who killed her son. I just found it really heartbreaking. I don't even know what's going to happen. If she found out that Bonnie was the person who totally ended his life, I can't imagine how she would feel. Hi, Moonglade. Thank you so much for being here. So I would love to hear from you guys about what you think about all of the things that I mentioned. And if you're just now getting here, I mentioned the fact that the FBI woman is pretty much onto them more than anyone ever has been in the past. Thoughts about Miller's mom and her grief and just the heartbreaking scenes. And thoughts about the Instagram photo that could implicate the connection, could make a connection apparent between Nate and Miller. Hi, James. Thank you for being here. Also, the whole thing with we found out, obviously, with Gabriel, the terroristic threatening, was planted by the FBI, which was pretty awesome that they had the proof to get that thrown out. But all of that is kind of a ruse for, you know, pinning down who is guilty for all of these crimes that have been going on for all of this time. Ralph is saying the FBI has got them. No way they're getting out of this. So I really kind of hope, as much as I do like, I guess, Annalise and the Keating Four or whoever, you know, at some point, and I feel like, I think we've talked about this before, that we want the show, a lot of us want the show to end with some people paying for what they've done, even though they may have done it in the spirit of revenge, or they felt like someone deserved to die or whatever. At the end of the day, murders are still murders. Unless it's true self-defense, it's not really justified. No, you know, if you have a vendetta against someone, it's not justified to murder them. I don't know. I'm trying to think about cases in the show where the murder was 100% justified because otherwise the person was going to kill the other person. I think most of the time the murders could have been avoided. A lot of times people were just killed because they were in the way or they knew some information or whatever. You know, AK and everyone thinks they've been very smart by trying to pin this on the governor, which I always thought was a really bad idea. And even though they showed up at the governor's house, I think some FBI detectives showed up there. I believe that's all kind of fake because they're trying to trick Annalise into thinking that they are going along with that plan when they really are not. James says that Miller's death was predictable, but they have turned it into an amazing storyline. Yes, and I have to say that honestly, I did not expect us to go to the place where the FBI was investigating them from basically season 1, episode 1. And when I saw, you know, the shot of that board, like with Lila's face and Rebecca and like Sam and everybody, I was like completely shocked. And I think that was a really big moment in the whole series. And again, I hope we go somewhere with that. I hope it doesn't turn into somehow they kill off this FBI woman. Like, that's like my first thought, is that they're going to have to kill her because she knows way too much. You know, I'm just hoping that, I don't want them to get away with murder all the time. I don't want them to get away with their crimes all the time. It's very, you know, very unrealistic. It's beyond unrealistic at this time, or at this point in the show. But I think it would be interesting if they got punished for some of the stuff that they did. I still don't really trust Gabriel. And, I mean, obviously, I feel like his intentions aren't that bad anyway, at least how he's presented them. Like, he wanted to know more about his dad. And yes, he has a right to know more about his dad because his dad was murdered, and it's very shady, and he's right. All of these people are very shady. I don't know if he's additionally shady on top of that, or if he is just like a person trying to figure out what happened to his dad because he didn't get the opportunity to get to know him. I don't see the protesting and stuff like that as him being a criminal or him being shady. They were basically, you know, just trying to set him up to take down Annalise. Skyla says, wait, is the prediction about episode 12? You haven't seen it and you don't. Whatever episode ended, what was the episode yesterday? I thought it was 12, maybe it was 11. But I'm discussing last night's episode. So if you haven't seen last night's episode, definitely get out now because definitely we're going to spoil you. But if it was episode 11, I'll change it. Let me know. Ralph says AK's problem was giving her team too much rope to handle things that she normally does. Yeah, she's been kind of preoccupied lately, and there's just so much going on. I feel like Nate has been making some really reckless decisions, first of all, and then we have this Gabriel's kind of a loose cannon as well. Yeah, so we're definitely talking about last night's episode, which I think was 12. If it was 11, you guys let me know. Again, that's what I'll be doing every Friday, discussing the previous episode, so definitely be sure to come back later. Yeah, come back later, cool. Or, you know, watch it when you're caught up, because spoilers, you know, are coming. I have not seen next week's episode, though. James is saying that the rumor is this is the last season. I don't know. I haven't heard that, but I feel like we would know that by now unless it gets, you know, randomly canceled, you know, just out of the blue, because they said there's like 3 episodes left. So I feel like they would really be pumping this is the last season. I definitely think that would be like advertised for every week. Alex says you hated Gabriel at the beginning of the season, but you love him for sure. You know, yeah, he's definitely kind of growing on me. They have presented him the whole time as like a shady person. So I think that's part of, you know, basically kind of the show is to blame. And I don't really know if he's a shady person. Again, I think the fact that he's there to investigate what happened to his dad is legitimate, because what happened to his dad was shady. Now, his dad was shady, and he probably doesn't know that because, you know, we saw the flashbacks and he did not have a relationship with his dad because I think his mom wanted it that way. But is there something else in his background? I mean, I don't know. Is he trying to take down AK and the Keating whoever's, Keating 4? I mean, well, maybe, but they're criminals, so... You know, yeah, a lot of people have been asking me about the Perfectionists. I will watch the first episode and see what I think from there. So yes, I will do some sort of video or something about the first episode. If I like it, then I'll continue. Definitely. So Alex says ABC always renews their shows at the last minute. Yeah, I thought that was kind of how that worked, but I really do think the show's been on so long that if they had the knowledge that this was the last season, like they would be saying that literally in every week, being like, this is the last season, and really pumping that because, you know, ratings, and why wouldn't they? So again, I think unless it's just some freak thing that they get canceled, then yeah, I don't think it's the last season. Now, could next week or next season be the last season? Maybe, with the way that we're going here. Again, I don't think this is a Grey's Anatomy type show. I don't think we need this to last 20 years or however long that show's been on. At some point, we need it to end. I do think, and I think I talked about this last week, that the final season of this show, unless for some reason we have a surprise cancellation, I think the final season of this show will be fantastic, because if they do it right, because, you know, we're going to have to, for those of us who've watched every single episode, and I think that's all of us, it'll be like a big payoff, I believe, for the viewers, because every crime, all of the dirt that people don't know, that we know, you know, I think we're going to revisit that, and some people are going to either, well, I hope they're going to have to pay for it, you know, because at the end of the day, and I think a lot of people forget this, all of these people who are the stars of the show are criminals, you know, and I think we forget it sometimes because we're like, oh no, the evil FBI lady. Like, the evil FBI lady is trying to send these people to prison. Well, I mean, she's pretty much doing her job. Now, usually it turns out that everybody on the show has an ulterior motive, and like everybody is also evil on the side. So I don't know, maybe she has a backstory too. Maybe she's evil. Who knows? But at the same time, like, you know, the AK, everyone, almost everyone's killed someone. I know Annalise hasn't, but she's definitely complicit in so much stuff. And they're not heroes, you know. It's not like they were framed. I mean, think about it. Frank and Bonnie are not good people, you know, but they've given us lots of reasons why we should sympathize with them, or reasons why whoever they murdered was justified. I mean, personally, when Bonnie killed Rebecca, I was like, no, that is not justified. No, wrong. That is wrong. Like, I mean, Rebecca was honestly a very annoying character to me, but I didn't think she deserved to die. At this point, I can't even remember what was going on. I think they killed her to, like, shut her up or something, but I felt wrong about that. Hey, it's Hilda says, I always wonder what the dynamic between Wes and Gabriel would be like. Would have been interesting to see. I'm getting, like, choked again. I do have a drink this time. Yeah, I mean, there's been, like, I think there's been people who have actually suggested that Wes didn't really die, which I'm glad we're not going there, because one of my biggest pet peeves is when, like, someone's killed off on a show, and then the next season they'll show us the dead body, like, with the guts hanging out, and the next season they're like, hey, JK, this person lived, whatever. You know, I think we've discussed at length that Wes had an evil twin, and I think all of us who discussed that, or like he was a twin or whatever, I think all of that fear and crazy talk comes from Pretty Little Liars. So if you haven't seen Pretty Little Liars, I suggest you do not, because it will make you think bad things about, like, every mystery show you watch from here on out. So just don't waste your time. It was funny because, like, recently somebody commented on one of my Pretty Little Liars videos from, like, season 1, and they were making predictions that, like, made sense about who A was and everything, and I wanted to write back, like, stop while you're ahead. There's a billion seasons, and they're terrible, and it ends, and you'll want to, like, break your TV or computer or whatever. Okay. Back on topic. Alex says 3 episodes left of this season. If they go out, it needs to be with a bang. Right. So I'm excited. And I think we should throw these people in jail. Like, sorry, I think we should, you know? I mean, I do like some of the people, whatever, they're likable, but at the end of the day, they're criminals, and Laurel probably killed her mom, so another criminal. I mean, is her mom insane? Is her mom annoying? Right, but does that justify the murder? You know. Gregory says, am I the only one who wants Nate to get what's coming for him? My thoughts on Nate are that, and I've said this before, but we'll say it again, he has been kind of a, for lack of a better word, let's say a person who was not used correctly through this show. I want to say like a useless character. Again, don't take that the wrong way. I like Billy Brown. I think he is a good actor. I think he's been like a weak character in this show, and he's been in this show since the beginning, and I don't think he's been used to his potential. That's a better way to say it. So, randomly my face itches every time I come on here. It's driving me crazy. So anyway, I think that he's really finally has a good storyline, and I really am down for that. I think he's made very poor decisions, and I think that it's just, in the real world, it would never work out. This whole plan to, like, blame the governor and all that is insane. What he did to Miller was probably not justified. However, I still feel like we're going to find out that Miller was really shady, because I think they wanted to soften the blow for Bonnie and for Nate. And so they won't feel so bad for killing some guy that they think is just like a sad little person with a sweet mother or whatever. All right, I have a lot of comments. I'm going to try to get to all of them. James says, will we ever find out what happens to Laurel's mom, which I just talked about? I definitely think so. I don't think this is the type of show that makes that a huge focal point for like half a season and then we'll never return to it. I mean, I pretty much think Laurel killed her, and I'm hoping we get that reveal. Is that going to happen this season? I don't know. Alex is saying Bonnie is a crazy bee. Yeah, I mean, again, they want you to sympathize with her storyline because she had a really rough childhood with her dad and all of that, but at the same time, she is a murderer. And again, I mean, here's the thing. In the real world, if you murder someone, but you be like, if you're like, well, yeah, but like my dad abused me and I had a tough childhood, well, you know, at the end of the day, you murdered someone, unless you murdered your dad who was attacking you and it was self-defense. But when you're murdering other randoms, you know, whatever your reason is, it can't be, well, I had a bad childhood. So even though they use that to get us to sympathize with her situation, that would never work. It's like, okay, you still murdered people. Lots of people have troubling childhoods or bad things happen in life, but it doesn't justify murdering people who weren't basically, you know, this is a self-defense situation. So Gregory says Annalise, Connor, Oliver, and Michaela haven't killed anyone. No, not everyone on here is a murderer, but they are all complicit with many, many crimes. They have knowledge. They've covered up knowledge of many crimes or participated in many crimes, which are murders. So should everyone like go to prison for life? No, I'm not suggesting that. Should everyone pay for what they've done? Yeah, I mean, I know it's a sticky situation because it's like they started out in this, I guess, with Sam's murder, and they got caught up in that, and they were all protecting each other and protecting that secret, and then more and more things happened, and they had to protect those secrets, and they couldn't really leave. Like, Connor wanted to leave so many times, but he couldn't because he knew all the dirt that people had on him, so they all just stay in this terrible situation, and it's like the only way out is basically death, like Wes, you know, so. Gregory says that Bonnie killed Rebecca because she thought she had killed Sam. Okay. Which was incorrect, but still murder and still unexcusable, right? Okay, Ralph says all of AK and the 4 are being monitored by the FBI. I have no way the tech team is not alerted to Connor's mom's Instagram with the pic. Right, I don't think they would have brought that up if it's going to be like super easy to solve in the next episode where his mom deletes it. I mean, that's what may happen, like his mom deletes it and they are like, oh, she deleted it like right away, like it's no big deal. But if the FBI is watching everyone's Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and whatever, they saw that it doesn't matter how quickly she deleted it. So I think that was mentioned for a purpose, and it's not going to be something so simple as like, yeah, she posted it, we got her to delete it, everything's fine. Because it really feels like the pressure is on at this point, everyone, you know? Hilda says, Pete said we find out what happened to Laurel's mom. You just don't know which episode, though. Okay, good. Excellent. I thought we would. Gregory says, truly hope they don't soften the show because that would be a huge cop-out. Absolutely agree with you. Alex says, Bonnie's not a murderer. She's a serial killer at this point. I mean, she's not like, she doesn't have like a I mean, she's not like Ted Bundy. She's not like stalking and has a certain type of MO for a victim or whatever, but she's killed more than one person. Yes. James says next week's episode title is about parents, so maybe Laurel's mom's storyline could conclude. Definitely. Ralph says, according to the FBI's chart, Laurel's mom is not deceased or missing. Really? So I don't know who of you, and probably Ralph did, like, screenshotted that, paused it, you know, zoomed in, whatever, to see, like, all of the information up there on the wall. But what did they have? Did they have Laurel's mom's name and, like, what was, I guess, her photo? Like, what was mentioned there? Unless she's, like, working for them as an informant or something. I don't know. Interesting. Sydney says, you kind of hope the FBI figures it all out. Can you explain the reasoning for Nate calling in Miller's body? Feel like you missed the part that explains why they did that. Was it to distract from Gabriel? So I think, really, I think that because Bonnie was like, it was Bonnie, I think, who kind of prompted that to happen, because she was saying, like, it's too much grief, like, for his mom to keep thinking and holding out hope that he's alive. So she was like, you know, it's time to let people know that he is dead and that his body has been found. I guess that's the reason, to, from like a grief standpoint, for his mom, who's, you know, like a good person, so that she doesn't have to. His mom legit thought he was still alive, sadly, but I guess that's kind of what you feel like. Maybe if you're in that situation, you want to think, yeah, I'm sure the person who's missing is going to return. I'm sure it'll all work out. I don't know. Alex says, given the end of the last episode, do you think the season will end like half of the cast in prison? So yeah, since that was kind of a shocking revelation in this episode, I don't know what to expect for the finale, but I will tell you I'm really excited for it, and I hope it's not lame and like nothing happens, but it definitely made me way more excited about this season. Skylar says Annalise hasn't killed anyone. She just cleans up everyone's mess. Yeah, and let's be clear. I know that everyone hasn't killed people, but everyone is a criminal, because you don't have to be a murderer to be involved in a murder, because, you know, they're concealing evidence. They may have contributed in some way to assist with the murder. All of them, except for Gabriel at this point. Gabriel is not aware of their crimes. He's not hiding or keeping their secrets, but I feel like he's on the road to doing that. I mean, but if he finds out like what actually happened to his dad, then no. But you know, all of them are, unfortunately, they've committed criminal acts. Now, people who help conceal a murder and things along those lines, they may not get that much time in jail, but nobody is innocent. Oliver is not innocent. No matter how much you like those people. Michaela is not innocent, you know. And again, it's not that I dislike all of them or anything, because I think if you didn't like any of them, if you didn't like Annalise or any of the, I never know what to call them anymore, any of her students, you know, I don't even know why you would watch. Like, if they were intolerable people and you hated them and wanted them to go to jail, like, it would be really hard to watch every season. So at the same time, as I like them, I also think that they also should have to pay for what they've done, especially the people who've actually killed people. Again, have we had any situations in the show where someone was killed purely out of self-defense? Like, if they didn't kill the other person, then they themselves would be dead. I really can't remember. Maybe so. Alex thinks Oliver will be in prison and not Connor, which is an interesting thought. Gregory says, they say that you have to kill at least 3 people to become a serial killer. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't really know the definition of a serial killer. I just always thought, like, because I'm really intrigued, I guess, by serial killers, and I like watching documentaries and movies about serial killers. But it always seems to me like, you know, a serial killer has like a certain type of person they stalk out or whatever. But maybe not. Maybe it's like a crime of opportunity for some people, like just people that they get at the wrong place at the wrong time. And then when you kill multiple, I guess the definition is killing multiple people makes you one, you know. But I mean, it seems like the notorious people have like a target, like a targeted audience of who they're wanting to kill. For example, Ted Bundy, who's been talked about a lot lately because of the Netflix documentary that came out, was like young college girls or young girls, you know, who he tricked. So Gregory says last season they got one of them in jail, just not for the crime he committed. Asher, yes. Skylar says, imagine if we had a spinoff with the cast in jail. That would be bizarre. You wouldn't know how to feel about something like that. So I think for the most part, if you think about any show, and I'm sure there's some show that where this has worked, but I've always felt like ever since I've been like a kid, every time there's been a spinoff of a show that I really liked, this spinoff usually didn't stick around long, wasn't good. Usually it doesn't include the same cast members or things are different. An example which doesn't even like connect with this show, but like I love Saved by the Bell when I was young, and I remember they went to college and they tried to do like a college Saved by the Bell, and it was like really bad. They had some of the same people, but then they had new people, and I know that's not the same as this type of show, but that's just one example, and I was like, this is terrible, and then I never watched it again, you know? Hilda says, Wes would probably be the closest to killing someone out of self-defense. Sam was basically trying to kill Rebecca. Yeah, probably, yeah. He was probably one of the more innocent ones. I haven't heard about the film Detainment. Is that in theaters or where is that? Anise, hi, thank you so much for being here. Gregory says Orange is the oh yeah, that's how I met Asher, aka Matt McGorry, was Orange is the New Black. He is the reason why I watched How to Get Away with Murder, because I really liked him when he was in Orange is the New Black, and I was like, oh, he's in a new ABC show, I'll try that out. Basically that's what got me to this show. Jason says ABC is taking forever to renew How to Get Away with Murder. You'll be pissed if they don't renew it. I mean, people keep like tweeting me and commenting that the ratings are really down for this show, and I haven't taken a chance to actually look at that. But I don't see them just, you know, like canceling it, like surprising, like a surprise shock canceling. I really hope not. I really hope not. Yeah, so Gregory's saying Angel and the Chicago spinoffs were pretty good, which I didn't watch either of those. I know Angel was the Buffy spinoff, and I only have seen like a couple episodes of Buffy, so I think there are exceptions. But the idea, if I hear the idea of like, oh, How to Get Away with Murder's ending, but they're working on a spinoff, that makes me kind of feel like not excited just because it's a spinoff, I guess. And then sometimes I feel like when a show ends, it just should end. Like, let's leave it at, you know, leave it as it is, especially if it ends and it's an ending that fans are happy with. I think a lot of times they do ask for like a spinoff or like for a movie or something if they don't like how a show ended. But I just think spinoffs in general are hard, even for like the greatest shows you've ever seen. It's hard to recreate that kind of magic in a spinoff, even if they get the whole cast back. Now, lately, everyone's been doing like, what's the word for it? Basically like Fuller House, where you're like, it's kind of like a reunion. It's almost like, it's like a spinoff, but like many, many years later. There's a word for it. Like so many different shows are being recreated, you know? Oh, okay. So it's about serial killers. Alex, where is that? Like, where can I see that? Now, Amina's asking, what if the Keating people begin to turn on each other under pressure? I could definitely see that happening. Jason says the word is reboots. Reboots, exactly. So, I did watch Full House originally, but I haven't, or Revival, either way. I haven't watched Fuller House. I know it's like super popular. That's what I hear. I just haven't watched it. I don't have like a bad feeling toward it or anything against it. It's just like, typically I don't watch dramas or anything like that anymore. Or that's probably a comedy. I'm not sure what you categorize that as. It would have to be a show that I like, love to try to watch a reboot or try to watch a spinoff. And even then, I think it just steals some of the magic from the show. And something else about a lot of shows that I have loved over time is that, sadly, usually like 50% of the time, the actual series finale, sitcom, the actual series finale ends up being bad. I could give you a ton of examples for that. So I think even the very best of shows that are created, it's very hard to come up with a series finale that's as phenomenal as the show is. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's just hard to end a good thing. Ralph says Fuller House is garbage. I don't know, right? Because I did appreciate that when I was little, like Full House. But I just don't have the interest in watching it. And again, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. James Bulger, I've never heard about that. Where is he from? I assume he's not around anymore. I am going to watch the Ted Bundy, Zac Efron movie, which that's interesting to me. Gregory says reboots are when they remake the show, revivals are when they continue them. So I guess Fuller House would be kind of a revival. But there's been a lot of that lately, right? A lot of stuff's coming back. Jason agrees. That's why you like American Horror Story series finale is just a season finale. So, right. So I'm wondering, like, with the show like American Horror Story, where it is pretty much different every season. But one day we'll have a series finale, and I feel like it'll probably connect some dots, or some stuff will be connected. Really and truly, like last season, if you watch American Horror Story, felt like a series finale, how everything was connected. Like, at this point, I don't know what they're going to do for a series finale, because I feel like they've used all their good ideas for last season for what should have been used for a series finale. But like I've told you, for those of you who watch that show, maybe they have some phenomenal idea planned for the series finale, and it'll be shocking and we'll love it, and we won't compare it to that season. Hilda says, you heard some people say that about Scandal, that the first few seasons were good, but the last ones were garbage. I had tried to watch that show. I never watched it when it first came on, but I watched it like on Netflix or like the ABC app or something, like a while after it first aired, and I liked a couple of the seasons, and then I think the woman who plays Bonnie was in it, but she looked totally different. But anyway, then I got like really, really bored with it, and I never continued. And I know like people that I know in real life had watched the whole thing. I forgot what they said about the series finale, but I know there were some seasons where people were like, this is weird, I don't like it. It went to some weird places. Okay, Liverpool in the UK. Okay. 10-year-olds abducted a 2-year-old and tortured, murdered him. The film recreated it. That's, have you guys seen that Slender Man documentary? That sounds familiar to that, but it's not like a serial killer. Terrible. What do I think would be the perfect series finale for How to Get Away with Murder? I think the perfect finale would be for people to get caught and to not get away with murder. Because they've unrealistically gotten away with these crimes for years. And I think it's time to not get away with murder. F says there's a possibility there might be a Scream Queens movie. I've been getting some tweets about Scream Queens possibly returning, I guess, as a TV series. But maybe that's what I thought people were saying, but maybe they were saying it's going to be a movie. Yeah, I would probably watch it. The last season of that show was so terrible, so I'm not super excited about it, but I don't know. I would probably watch it. I like the first season a lot. Ralph says more and more you feel like Kelly is secretly the Dexter of her town. Hey now, I would never do that, okay? Never. And besides, remember, Dexter was only killing the bad people, so it was justified. No, really, it's still murder. Like I just talked about that earlier. Murder is murder, unless it's like, I feel like, unless the person's trying to kill you. But some of those people actually were trying to kill Dexter, right? Only because he, like, intervened into their lives. I really love the concept of the show Dexter, if you've never watched it. I think the idea of it is genius. Now, the last season's terrible, but anyway, how many times? I always talk about it because Billy Brown was in it, I guess, and he's in this show. I don't know. Amina says plot twist, Bonnie flips and kills Laurel. So I'm down for some craziness, like I wouldn't be sad if somebody went insane, if like people turned on people to the extent of killing each other. Let's go there. I don't see them going there. I don't see them doing, I mean, the craziest thing they've ever done was kill Wes, and to me that was not used correctly. Like, it just didn't work. But let's have Bonnie kill one of them. Let's have Bonnie kill, you know, what's his name? Frank. I don't care. Let's do it. Let's do something crazy. Gregory says you find it funny that the show is preceded by a million little things. You love it, but it's kind of a wild pairing. I haven't watched that, but I've been seeing stuff on social media that, like, was it canceled or almost canceled or something? I saw, like, some, like, people freaking out or worried, but, like, then I saw, like, it's not really canceled. I don't know. Yeah, Dexter is a great idea. I wish I had come up with that for a TV show. I think that's just such a genius idea. And for those of you who did like Dexter, the woman who played his sister, Deb, she has her own show. I've been seeing it advertised. I think it's on NBC. I don't know if it's started yet, but it seems like she's a cop again. So maybe you guys would want to watch. I don't know. Alex says if they killed each other, it would be insane and not in a good way. I really like crazy stuff like that in a show. I like when shows go big, but like have a reason behind it. Like, I feel like Wes's killing really wasn't validated, really didn't need to happen. But like, I don't know. I always felt like if Wes knew that Bonnie killed Rebecca, like he would maybe kill her, but now he's not here. But you know, if you have that's like a good reason. Like someone killed someone's girlfriend and then you found out and you've trusted them the whole time, then you should kill them. Only in the sense of this show, right? Yeah, so Dexter and Deb, actually the actor and the actress who played those people, were actually married, which is funny in the past. Hilda says, only reason you wouldn't want Laurel dead is because the baby may have a life just like his dad. You want better for him. Yeah, right. And we really don't want like her crazy family to, if her mom's around, which I don't think she is, and her dad's in prison. So basically Wes has no family. So what happens? I mean, what's going to happen? Would Annalise raise him? I could actually see that happening though. I could see Annalise raising the baby since she's kind of always wanted a baby. Yeah, it is on NBC. I think I've seen it when I've been watching This Is Us online on the NBC app. Hey now, hey, This Is Us made it. This Is Us is like the biggest show ever on NBC, so, you know, those things. You never know. I just haven't seen her in such a long time, and I believe she's from, I live in Kentucky, and I feel like she is from Kentucky, so, I don't know. Jason says, do we know the full Kristoff story yet? I feel like there's still something we don't know for sure, but then also I feel like we do know everything, or they're not going to tell us anything else. What do you mean exactly? Like if we filled in all the holes from Kristoff's background or whatever, like you're talking about Wes here, aka Wes. Have I seen the show the Dexter actor was in recently called Safe? People, I heard that was good. Is that still out or still going? Or Michael C. Hall is a really good actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. But he's always going to be Dexter. Like, every time I see him, I'm like, Dexter. Dexter. I named my cat after the show, so. Anyway. Gregory says, why do you have a feeling that Kristoff's ending will remind us of the ending from... Wait, what is MH? Why, I should know what MH is, shouldn't I? Ralph says, Toby is... This Is Us has Toby. He's TV Gold. I still love This Is Us. I'm actually caught up now. I think a new episode comes out next week. But I know people ask me a lot if I'm watching that still. I am. I love it. I think it's really, really good. I think it's just as good as, or I think it's one of the best shows ever that I've ever seen in my life, honestly. I think it's just really well done. I think it deserves all of the accolades that it's gotten, absolutely. And I know those people are getting paid a fortune, but, you know, I've always liked Mandy Moore, so I think they're all great. I think all the actors are great as well. And I love the story of Chrissy, what's her last name? Who plays, her real name is Chrissy. She plays the daughter. What's her name on the show? Hello. I can hear it. It's at the tip of my tongue. Like, there's, like, apparently, I don't know if this is true, but she had, like, either $9 or $12 in the bank when she booked that role. So it's like, she deserves to be, like, a millionaire now. Murder House. Okay. Hilda says, we know who killed him and why, who his actual parent. Kate, yes. We know who killed him and why, who his actual parents were, but we still want to know, you still want to know how he knew Dominic, but I guess you'll never know. I know. I knew there were some things we really didn't know about that situation, but at the same time, I feel like, are they ever going to go back? But then I will never say never, because I felt like they would never bring Famke Janssen back, and they brought her back, and I still don't know why. I really don't know why, but I know a lot of people wanted to see her back, Eve. And then she came back, and now she's gone. And I'm like, what? Like, I still don't understand why she came back. I really don't know. Maybe she was just dying to come back. I don't know. Amina says you feel like the FBI is going to really pin them against each other, or even AK. Definitely could see that. Ralph says This Is Us is a good normal show, non-horror or mystery. Yeah, but I feel like there's some mysteries in there. You know, I'm not going to get specific because I don't know who's caught up. But I feel like there are some things that you find out little nuggets all through, and then they keep you, every time a series ends, they show you, like, basically what's going to, I read about this, basically what's going to happen in the very last season, like, what's happening in the future, or whatever, and then you always wonder, like, what are they going to reveal, and what's going to happen to the characters, and, like, you wonder, like, why am I not seeing some of the characters in the future, like, are they dead, or what's the deal? So I think in a way, it is kind of mysterious, and they do reveal things without there being, like, murders and such. It's a nice show for me to watch because I watch a lot of murderous shows. And it's nice to not always watch shows where people are getting, like, chopped up. I think it's excellent, though. Anise says he knew Dominic because Laurel's mom reached out to him. Okay. I think we're not going back to the mysteries of Wes, but maybe. I don't know. Alex says a lot of people just love Famke. I like her too. I just, when people would say they wanted her to come back before she came back, I was just like, well, what would be the point of her coming back? And then they brought her back, and I still have the question. I don't know. I don't know why she came back. Maybe she's going to come back more. I don't know. And maybe we'll figure it out. Yeah, $9. That's, I swear, Google that. I swear. I've seen that story so many times circulating on social media. It was either like $9 or $12. And yeah, apparently she was in Freak Show. So I don't know. Maybe she went on like a huge shopping spree after she was in Freak Show. Because, you know, some time had passed between Freak Show and her getting cast on This Is Us. So like, maybe she was buying a bunch of stuff and she kept thinking the work was going to come and it didn't, and there you go, $9. I don't know. Has anyone watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? That's one show that I have completed both seasons recently. Nobody's getting murdered in that, and it's kind of a comedy, kind of a drama, but I really do like that as well. It's on Amazon Prime. Different from this show. So if you've got to have murders and crime, then that's not for you. But again, I can't do murders and crime all the time. Gregory says, This Is Us and A Million Little Things both have a big mystery at their center. Okay, cool. Hilda says, you think a lot of people, including me, ship Eve and Annalise. So there's a lot of hinting towards that. And then I also feel like Annalise could be with Tegan at some point. And I want to trust her, but then sometimes I don't know. I don't know. T loves Mrs. Maisel. Yes, it's really good. I really like it. Okay, she was Evan Peters' girlfriend on Freak Show. Interesting. Gregory likes Mrs. Maisel too. I really love Rachel Brosnahan. I didn't know who she was before watching the show. And then she actually hosted SNL recently. And I'm like, wow, she's amazing. And like everyone in that cast is just really endearing. So I think it's a really good show if you have Amazon Prime. Just a show that's really special and really good. And I'd heard so much buzz about it through like award shows. And I was like, this doesn't really sound like a show that I would typically watch, even though I do like comedians. And so it took me a while to watch it because I was like, I don't know if I care about that. But then so many people said it was good. So yes, I watched it and I liked it. I watched it really fast. Ralph says Tegan is in love with Annalise. Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. But then I also feel like their boss or whatever has like a crush on Annalise. I don't know where we're going here because he kind of, again, even though Annalise is a criminal or whatever, he was kind of scaring me in last night's episode with him like investigating Tegan. Sorry, did you see my chair shake there? I had my leg. That looked really violent on camera, but I had my leg up here and it was like going to sleep and I moved it and it looked like an earthquake just happened, but it didn't. That was funny looking. So Hilda says, Pete Nowak said we would find out. I think we're talking about her mom, right? I've forgotten her name. Somebody's mom. Okay. Gregory thinks maybe Tegan will become Annalise's girlfriend. I feel like that. Because I really think that Famke will not become her girlfriend, Eve, because she said her girlfriend or her wife was pregnant. And I just don't see them going that way and being like, well, let's break up that relationship where a baby's on the way to get her with Annalise. I don't know. Laurel's mom. Laurel's mom. Yes, thank you. But anyway, yeah, I think this show could have gone a different way. I think How to Get Away with Murder could have continue down the path of the obsession with Laurel's family and just the mess that they made with Wes's murder and all of that and never recovered. And I think they're slowly trying to recover. But I could also see them crashing and burning and continuing to let everyone escape from all their crimes. And not that it's not unrealistic anyway, but at some point it's just like... And they even made like the statement in the promo, like, are they going to get away with this? Are they going to get away with another crime? And it's like, at some point, can we not? Can we just not get away with murder, please? Gregory's asking if Sandrine was Laurel's mom's name. Possibly. I don't even remember at this point. I should. T says your ship, Tegan and Annalise. I really want to like Tegan. I guess it's unfair to say anyone in this show is shady when you're like saying, oh, I don't want Annalise to be with someone shady. It's like, wait, this woman is super shady. So does it really matter? I feel like probably Tegan is less shady than Annalise, actually. So Hilda says you think Annalise is too loyal for her kids to take an immunity deal. I would hope so. I would hope that she would protect them till the end and like she be the one to go to jail. Again, I think Viola is amazing. So no shade to her as a person. But her character is shady, guys. You know, I mean, she's done a lot of things. I don't know. She's orchestrated all of this stuff. I don't know if all these kids would have, you know, committed these crimes and everything if she didn't. She's like the adult in this situation, you know. Alex thinks that Tegan is the least shady in the show. Probably. Probably. But again, the show kind of makes everyone sympathize towards the criminals. I know that's crazy, but you know, you forget. I forget a lot. Like, I always am so mad when someone is like, you know, I'm like the FBI woman. Like, she makes me mad. Like, I'm like, what's wrong with her? Like, you terrible woman. Like, what are you trying to do to these people? Like, why? Why are you trying to, you know, punish them? And then I'm like, oh, this woman's like doing her job. Like, this is what she's supposed to be doing. Like, she's not being shady. You know, this is like her job. Like, she's the FBI. So it's pretty sad that it's like made you think the criminals are the great people and the police and stuff are not. Not that we don't have like shady police and FBI on these shows, but whatever. Gregory says it's weird that the last shady person is Asher, who ran Sinclair over with his car. But wasn't Sinclair shady, like, really? Or did I just hate her as a character? Because I really definitely did not like that woman. But I'm also wondering, was she also just doing her job and she was just annoying? Or was she evil? Because I don't even know anymore. Because honestly, I've been rooting for the people who were criminals the entire time. And I probably really hope bad things on the people who were like trying to do law enforcement and stuff. Yeah, Hilda says Sinclair was shady. I thought so. That woman really bothered me. Like, honestly, that's probably the worst character they've had, like, on the show. And I think everyone was happy when she died. Gosh, I don't know. Anyway, I think that's about all I have to say about this week's episode. We'll do this again next Friday at 5. This was really fun. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I almost forgot she bugged Annalise's house. Yeah. But I just think it's interesting to discuss how we have felt so much sympathy, or at least I have, for the people who have been committing all these crimes, even though they have good reasons, some of them, I mean, did anyone else get annoyed by the FBI woman? Like, I was legit mad at her last night. I was like, wait, what are you doing? Why are you investigating them to this extent? Like, no, stop. You know, well, they may dig up some stuff on her, but I think she's doing her job, guys. I think she's doing her job better than, like, most anyone because she's connected all of these dots, but you know. Anyway, I hope you guys have a really good weekend. Do I know what time 5 is in the UK? Like London, I can figure it out. Let's see. Let me look at my phone. I have a thing. So if you're in London or like that area, let me see. I have London thing saved on my world clock here. Then I can tell you. So if you're in England, it's on that time, but all of the UK. So I could be wrong there, but Annie says 1 p.m. I don't know. It says like, so currently like in London, it's almost 11 p.m. and then it's almost 6 p.m. here. And I'm on the same time as New York. I probably just made it more confusing for you guys. Oh my God, Dokes on Dexter. Wow, that's been a minute. Was he a bad guy or no? I know who he is. I see his face, but I feel like he was kind of a good person that they killed off, right? All of the UK is the same time. Perfect. So it would be 10 p.m. is when these chats will be on. So 10 p.m. for you guys. Wonderful. You can always just Google New York City time and then figure out how that is different from wherever you guys are. And now I'm on New York City time, even though I'm not in New York City. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.